to Dr. Vijay. Now, after surgery, does it mean that patient can totally, get off Syndopa and DBS will take care of their treatment? And can you sort of elaborate on that? That seems to be a common question that all patients usually ask.
To do a DBS, whether all the medications are completely taken off. That's the first question all my patients will ask. The answer is, if you do a DBS, DBS is like another best symptomatic therapy what we have for our patient. Like how the levodopa is working, the DBS will also work like that. This is a symptomatic therapy rather than a cure. So when you do a DBS, it improves the Parkinson's symptom. With the help of the DBS, we can reduce the medications like up to 40 to 70% of the patient, because as we know that everyone is different, and like how when we are going to do the DBS, like if you do a DBS earlier when the patient is really good, you can go up to 70% of the improvement. When you do the DBS later on, when the patient is having lots of troubles, like a little bit of advanced Parkinson's disease, they require a little bit of more medication. So probably 40 to 50% of medications we can reduce. So, but still, if you are on DBS, they require some adequate, because levodopa has some good beneficial effect on Parkinson's disease. So we should take all the good benefit from the DBS and all the good benefit from the levodopa. So best way of treating the patients after the DBS. We may also reduce not only the levodopa, we may reduce the pramipexole or rasagiline or other medications also. So overall, everything will come up to like less than 50% of the earlier pre-DBS dose we will reduce. The important thing here is we need to be, when you reduce the levodopa, when you reduce the dopamine sparing agents, automatically the dyskinesias will reduce. And we also have lots of techniques, like lots of programming options we have. So to reduce the dyskinesias or improve the tremors or improve the slowness, everything we have some techniques. There are more than like 100 types of like programming options we have. So we use these programming techniques to improve the symptoms.
There are, I think Mr. Vignesh is asking a question about the success rate of DBS in Chennai, India, USA. Where is it done with utmost care, and whether there are any better alternative approach instead of DBS. Now, if I could try to answer these three things before we touch upon programming, we can talk about how we take care. We will not be able to talk about how is it done elsewhere. We can say that at our institute, we work as a team. As you know, both of us are well trained in what we do, and we are not the only two people who are part of that team. So there is a team of speech therapists, physiotherapists, rehab specialists, who all see the patient, as a team, and then it is the pre-operative diagnosis, the pre-operative pre-surgical workup, the charting, and things like that happen as it is done in the best centers in the world. But we will not be able to comment on how it is done elsewhere. In India, as such, there are various other centers that do DBS regularly. In South India, Sri Chitra Tirunal, which is a government institution in Trivandrum, does quite a lot. So the parameters that we have told you now, keep that in mind before you judge whether people are taking care or not. So that's a judgment call that Mr. Vignesh has to make. About any better alternative approach, at the moment, DBS is as much in the front line as far as possible in terms of the technology has progressed. The DBS, as nanotechnology and things come in, the implements will become smaller, miniaturized, and things like that, but we are not there yet. In the future, maybe there would be, genetic alterations that is possible, so that we can detect beforehand that this person would develop Parkinson's disease when he's 50 and given a medication early on in life and change it. But though that is all still in the realm of science fiction. So as things stand, the whatever medicines Dr. Vijay mentioned and about the surgery that I mentioned is what is clinically approved and available anywhere in the world. The cost of it, the various brands are available, but broadly the two types of batteries that are available is the non-rechargeable, which you can think of as the Eveready battery, the torch battery, where you put it in, it works till the light burns, and once the battery runs down, you have to put a new battery. So that is the lower cost battery. So the cost of that particular surgery would come to somewhere around 8 or 9 lakhs. The more advanced battery, that is the rechargeable battery, you have to place something on your skin over the battery, and the recharging happens through the skin. So that battery is smaller and it lasts much longer. The non-rechargeable battery life is about 3 to 5 years. There are different brands which offer even up to 7 or 8 years. The rechargeable battery can last up to 12, 15 years, or some people claim even 25 years. But nobody knows for sure, but it is definitely longer than the non-rechargeable. So the cost of that surgery would come to around 13, 14 lakhs or so. And it is covered by insurance. Right now, the IRDAI, Insurance Regulatory Authority, has said that DBS surgery should not be rejected. And if you have insurance, that would cover it as well. Now, can you also elaborate on this programming? What is programming? And how do you do that? How often the patient needs to come for it, and things like that.
Yeah. So when you talk about the programming, usually it depends upon every place. Like immediately after the surgery, we can start the DBS like slowly on the day of surgery, or depending upon the patient, we can plan like a week or two how the patient is responding. The wound has to heal. So it depends upon every patient. We select the patient, we decide prior to the surgery itself when we want to start the DBS on. So usually around 1 or 2 weeks, we'll start the DBS on. And slowly, depending upon the patient, how they are tolerating the DBS, because this is something new to them. So we will initially go slowly, like every week or every 2 weeks, depending upon the patient condition, or if they are from somewhere else, if they are traveling from like 400 to 500 kilometers. So in that case, we can plan, we can have a secondary options, like we can bring the patient every month, something like that. We will usually plan. First, initially, what we'll do is try to reduce the medication slowly, because when the patient was probably they will be taking the levodopa for almost 5 years or 10 years with levodopa and other medication. Like that, the body is used to the medications for years. So we should not take the medications immediately. So the body will have something, something was taken from them. So they will feel more depressed, or they will feel more sudden off, something, all these problems can occur. So slowly I'll try to maintain with 3 tablets or 4 tablets of levodopa. The important thing is the quality of life of the patient. If the patient is doing a surgery yearly, we have lots of patients who is maintaining well with DBS alone, without levodopa, completely off levodopa. But you know that Parkinson's disease is a progressive disease. Like over years, slowly it will progress. When it progresses, they may require over the years, they may, even though initially they are completely off levodopa, at some point of time they may require a little bit of increase in the stimulation. And slowly they may require a little bit of 1 tablet, 2 tablets, 3 tablets of medication. So increasing the medication is not the issue. Overall, how we are managing the patient's quality of life, how we are keeping the patient happy. This is called as a patient-centric. The patient is important. The patient-centric approach, like the well-being of how we are taking care of well-being of the patient, individual patient, how we are making the patient to have a normal life. That is important for us. So that is approach for a DBS patient. So we will adjust the medication a little bit here and there, and we'll make the patient to do all his activities, let them go back to their work, continue their work as like without, if you take 100 patients, 99.9% of the patients, they will say that after the DBS, they will say that their disease has reduced at least 3 to 4 years prior to what the DBS was done. They will go back to the state of 4 years younger or 4 years better than the state what they are on at that time. Call the patient like to find out what is the best dose and best stimulation like DBS settings. So we call the patient something like once in 2 weeks or once in 3 weeks, depending upon how where they are and how the condition. But once the disease, we found out what is the best settings and the best medications. When we found out everything clearly, probably we can call the patient once in 2 months or 3 months, depending upon how the patient condition behaves. Do you want to add anything else, sir?
Yeah, I mean, nothing much except to reiterate that the words that the attendees should have listened here was slowly, 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 and gradually. So the main thing is that the patient and the family members should have their expectations correctly. That it's not that surgery was done, we spent so much money, with 1 month, it's 2 months, still he's having tremors and shaking. There is a reason why we are cranking up the stimulation slowly and bringing down the medicine slowly, so that you don't get additional side effects, and additionally your quality of life doesn't suddenly remarkably worsen at the time we're trying to get the stimulation parameters correct. So slowly, slowly, gradually. That's my take-home message from the programming part of it.